Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session today on payment processing and customer payment portals, Business Central. Joining us today is Nodus, and the presenter will be Fauwaz Hussain. And we're excited to have such a fantastic turnout today. And before I pass it over to Fauwaz, I would like to let you know that the session is being recorded and it will be posted to our on-demand webinar library later this week for you to review and share with anyone. And if you do have any questions, we just ask that you type those into the questions box and we will get them answered during our Q&A time at the end of our session. And so now I will pass it on to Fauwaz to kick off our presentation.
Thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Fauwaz. I'm with Nodus Technologies, and today we will be learning about our latest solution that we have brought to the Business Central market called PayFabric. It essentially allows you to process payments and streamline your receivable processes for Business Central. So before I start, what I'm going to do is I am going to give you a very quick background and introduction who Nodus is. So this way, who you know who you're speaking with. As I mentioned, my name is Fauwaz. I'm with Nodus Technologies. And Nodus specializes in e-commerce and electronic payment applications that integrate with Microsoft Dynamics. We have been in a payment business for Microsoft Dynamics for over 17 years now. We started off integrating with Microsoft Dynamics GP. Then over the years, we developed integration for other Microsoft platforms. And now we have our integration prepared for Dynamics Business Central. So today I will be talking about Business Central. Nodus as a company, we're based out of Southern California. We're headquarters here in Anaheim. And because we specialize in payment processing and payment solutions, we do have a very strong focus on PCI compliance as well, payment security, the security side of the things, especially these days where there's so many data breach that are happening. Being PCI compliant and being secured is every company's #1 priority, especially when it comes to payment information for your customers. It is highly recommended to follow best practices. And what we do is we work very closely with the PCI Security Council to not only make sure that all of our applications are always up to date with the most recent PCI regulations and certification, but also we make sure that we bring the most latest technology and the knowledge to the Dynamics customer base, to our customers and our partners. So everything that I'm going to talk about, everything that I'm going to show you, the solutions that we have developed, all of these solutions, these are PCI certified. So they go through a very intense certification process by the Security Council. And once they are approved, that's when we launch these applications. So what we have introduced to the Business Central users is our PayFabric solution. PayFabric essentially is our cloud-based payment engine. It basically is it's a solution that sits in a cloud, which has two major responsibilities. So #1, it's a payment processing system. So #1 is a payment storage system. So if you ever have a requirement where you want to store credit card information or even ACH check numbers all of our applications process credit cards as well as ACH. So if you ever have a requirement to store payment information on file for your customer, now you can do that without having that credit card data ever be stored either anywhere on your servers or anywhere in your accounting system, in this case, anywhere in Business Central. So all of the credit card data is stored in our private cloud called PayFabric. So that's #1 responsibility. And #2, PayFabric is designed to process payments. So what PayFabric does is it works with all the major payment processors out there to process the credit card payment. This gives you flexibility to choose a provider of your own choice. Of course, working with Nodus, and since Nodus is a division of Evo Payments, which is itself is a processor, we do have processing expertise on board that we bring to the table. We specialize in B2B level 2, level 3 rates, which essentially guarantees you lowest possible rates. So you always have a choice to go with our suggestion, or you can go with a choice of your own, because with PayFabric it connects to all these payment processors out there, which works both locally and internationally. So having PayFabric connected to Business Central would not only allow you to process payments within Business Central, but will also allow you to integrate, or it will allow you to connect your payment system and your receivables, streamline your receivable processes, and which I'm going to show you exactly how that works. But at the same time, you will be doing all of that in a very, very secure and a PCI compliant manner. So what it does, the most important thing that it brings to the table is that it fills the integration gap that most companies face when it comes to payments. If you don't have a system like PayFabric, then your payment system and your accounting system is not connected. And if your payment system and accounting system is not connected, there is an integration gap. That integration gap results in many issues that are faced by accounting departments on day-to-day basis. Issues such as delayed reporting, because your payments are not connected to your accounting system, then you don't know in real time, you have no information of your payments that are being processed, because somebody have to manually enter those payments into your accounting system, which leads into double entry. Now you have two systems where you need to manage all the payments that are being processed. One is your payment system, and then second is your accounting system. Then that leads into manual reconciliation. You will have to reconcile your payment system with your accounting system to make sure that yes, everything that was processed has properly been entered into your accounting system, like nothing is missing. Um, all that all of your customers who has already paid their balances, all of that has been reflected in your books properly. So to do that, you will have to continuously reconcile your both of your applications. This also leads into another big problem in which most companies face, is called disconnected departments. And what that means is that now, unless and until your accounting system enters the credit card information manually into your accounting system in Business Central, your other departments, such as your customer service, your sales team, they will never know that this payment has, if this payment still has, if this customer still has an outstanding balance or not. So a best way to think about it is like, let's say if you're in a customer service type of environment where you have a customer who calls to get help to your call center, but your team doesn't know that this person has already paid their dues, just because accounting team hasn't entered that information into accounting system. So overall, because of lack of integration, there's no real time data that you get. So this is essentially what happens when your payment system is disconnected with your accounting system. And now I'm going to tell you exactly what we have done and what we have brought to the market, which fills this gap, which connects your payment and your accounting system together. So the first thing that we brought in was we have an application called, so PayFabric is now inside of Business Central, which will not only allow you to manage credit card and ACH information for the customers within Business Central, but it will also allow you to process payments inside of Business Central. So without leaving Business Central, you can process payments directly from invoice level or order level. You can do process a credit card payment, you can process a check payment, you can do returns, like if somebody wants to process like a reversal. You can also do things like pre-authorizations or authorizations and capture. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, if you are in an environment where you want to, you take orders from your customers, you want to book an order. And now, at the time when you are placing an order for the customer, you will authorize the transaction. But once later, once that order has been fulfilled and has been transferred to an invoice, then you will capture that payment. So this is a very common method of for businesses, especially businesses that are in manufacturing type of business, for them to handle payments. So using PayFabric for Business Central, you have flexibility on how do you want to process payments. You have a secure method of saving credit card information or ACH information on file, and you have streamlined method of doing reporting directly from Business Central to see, to pull your transaction reports and all that information that you need. So that's one of our one part of it, which is inside of Business Central. We call it PayFabric for Business Central. And then secondly, along with that, what we have also done is we have also created a customer-facing payment portal. It's called Receivables for Business Central. So this is what we call our receivable automation tool. And how does it automate receivables? Well, what it does is it will allow you to have a customer-facing payment portal, which will allow your customers to go online, view their invoices on their own, and not just invoices, but all their account, and then they can make payments against their balances. Those payments are processed, and they are integrated back into your accounting system automatically. So from payment processing to cash applications within Business Central, all of that happens in a very seamless manner. Um, so this is a very, very similar concept to like how you pay your cell phone bills or how you pay your utility bills. Now you can have a portal where your customers can manage and process payments on their own. I'm going to start off with this, and I'm going to show you a demonstration, a working demonstration of both of our solutions, so you can get a better idea. Now, the good news is that our application is available, has been certified by Microsoft, and it is available on the Microsoft App Stores, where you can go, you can read about it, and you can download it. But at the same time, you can work with your representative at Innovia to get assistance on getting started with any of our applications. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my screens, and I'm going to show you how Business Central, PayFabric for Business Central works. So you should be able to see Business Central demo account on the screen right now. If there's anyone who does not see that, please send a note so we know. I am going to start off from the customer portal site, and then I will take you inside of Business Central. So customer payment portal, this is, as I mentioned, we call this our AR automation tool. And the reason why we call that is because it helps you streamline and it helps you automate a lot of your receivables processes. So the way this works is, and I'm going to explain you, then I will show it to you. The way this works is that in the beginning, when you first start off, let's say when you have an invoice inside of Business Central, the moment that invoice is posted, that invoice is immediately available on the portal. And at the same time, the portal will PayFabric will send a notification to the customer letting them know about that invoice. So this way, customer is notified right away as well. Customers can view their invoice, they can download it, they can print it if they want to. Then they can also make a payment by checks or credit cards. payment is processed, and once the payment is processed, that payment is integrated back into Business Central in form of a cash receipt. So you go to cash receipt journal and you will see a cash receipt entry applied to that invoice inside of Business Central. So from invoice distribution to the payment to cash application, all of that is seamlessly integrated and happens in a very automated fashion. So when I log in as a customer, I will be able to see my account. Now, this is my sample account. I have a lot of test invoices over here. Your customers may not have this many outstanding invoices. So the first page shows me all my outstanding invoices. I can also see my past due balance. I can see my outstanding balance. I can click on any of this invoice to see the details of this invoice. So for example, if I click on this invoice, I can drill down to the details. I can see this invoice. And by the way, right now I have my own branding, like I put Nodus logo on it, but you can put your own logo and it will basically, it's not going to say Nodus anywhere. It will be your branded, your portal according to your company's branding. So I can see the invoice details. I can see what my total balance is. Um, Not only that, I can see my outstanding invoices, I can also see my history, account history. Account history shows me payments and old invoices, everything. I can filter anything I want. So I have this on the top right, I have a filter button, which allows me to filter, like if I want to see my invoices only, if I want to see all the payments, returns, credit, debits. I can sort them according to dates, date range, or any set number of past days. I can also sort them according to amount, like my minimum amount, maximum amount. So if I want to see just my history, that hey, how much am I paid? So I can filter those out too. In fact, you can also use this contain field, which will essentially, you can type in a keyword and it will show you any invoices that contains that keyword. So very useful tool for your customers, completely self-service. This way, if they want to see any of their account information, they can do that. And here, I'm actually looking at my, like, this is just an example of one of my payments that I made, so I can see what the payment history was for that particular customer. So like that, likewise, I can actually just drill down into my any payment history as well as my my invoices as well. So this is my history, plus I can see my wallet. Now, all of this is stored in the PayFabric Cloud that I explained in the very beginning of the presentation. So PayFabric is a cloud-based application, right? So what that means is that it is also centrally accessible. I have, as a customer, I can come here and I can choose to save a credit card information or a check information on file. When I save my payment information on file, you as a Business Central user will be able to view that as well. When I say view, you won't be able to see the full credit card number, but you will be able to see what credit card or what payment information this customer has on file. So right now, I'm looking at this customer called Trade Research 2, and Trade Research 2 has a Visa and one MasterCard on file. I will be able to see this information inside of Business Central as well, which I'm going to show you. As a customer, I can see, edit my account as well. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and make a payment. By the way, we also allow prepayments too. A prepayment is like a deposit or a payment that is not tied to an invoice. So as a customer, I can pay invoices, or I can even make payments that are not associated with invoice, like unapplied payments. So I'm going to go ahead and make a payment. I can select multiple invoices to pay if I would like to, or if you want, you can allow customers to make partial payments too. You don't have to allow partial payments if you don't want to, but you can. So for the sake of example, I'm just going to go ahead and pay $100 on this invoice. When I hit continue to pay, it will take me to my review and payment page where I can see one more time what am I paying, what my total is, and then I can also see my payment methods. So because I have more than one credit card on file, one of them is set up as a default credit card, a primary credit card. So that default or primary credit card is pre-populated, but I can just click on this change payment method and I can add a new one, or I can use any other credit card I like. So once I have my information, again, I'm doing all of this as a customer right now. So as one of your customers, I'm just going to go ahead and make a payment. So very simple, just the way we pay our cell phone bills, we pay our utility bills. I was able to go as a customer to your website, view my account, view my outstanding balance, and then was able to make a payment on my account. A payment confirmation gets sent in an email to the customer as well. So whatever email address they have on file, that email address will receive a confirmation. So this way you don't have to send any confirmations yourself. So right now, and then we also display like a friendly message, which says that, hey, this receipt has been emailed to this email address, because that's the email address, david.gelly@nodus.com. That's the email address that's that has this received this payment confirmation. Along with this, but of course, as a customer, you can come back and you can go to the history and you can pull this confirmation anytime as well. But along with this payment number PFR 57 has already been submitted to Business Central. So if I go to, oops, I was logged out. So what it does, it basically runs a queue in the back. But what it does, in the queue interval, I think for Business Central is set up for like a minute or something. So see this one, the payment that I process, PFR 57, has already been integrated to for $100, and it was for this invoice. So throughout the day, as your customers are making payments, those payments will essentially be processed and will be integrated into Business Central. And as I mentioned, it's very quick integration. We do utilize the queue that are inside of Business Central, and the interval runs on about 60 seconds interval, so which is fairly quick, and it automatically basically updates your cash receipts journal inside of Business Central. So this was an example of how a customer can go online and make a payment, and how those payments are integrated back into Business Central. Now, one of the things that I do want to also point out over here is that as a PayFabric Receivables, this portal user, your team members can also come to this portal and process payments in a very, very similar manner as a customer did. I'm going to show you how they can do it inside of Business Central, but they can also do it from the portal as well. So let's say if I'm on the phone with someone, I can just pull up that customer's account and I can see what their balances are. And if somebody wants to make a payment over the phone, as a service rep, I can process payments on behalf of a customer. So the portal does have both a customer interface as well as a customer service interface. Now, inside of Business Central, we have added our PayFabric setup. So with PayFabric, you can manage and process payments within Business Central. So here, so let's say I'm going to go to, for example, I'll go to that customer that I just used. It was trade research. So this was the customer sample customer that I was using. So if I go to that customer's account, and here I can navigate to PayFabric wallet. So I can see what credit card number the customer had inside of customer wallet. So this is essentially what I meant when I said as a customer you can see what credit as a customer your customer can as a customer they can enter the credit card information on file, and as a Business Central user you can see what credit card this customer has on file. Furthermore, if you want, you can also add credit card for customer from here as well. And you can also use this credit card to process a payment on behalf of a customer as well directly from Business Central. In future, we are going to also add an option here called PayLink, which will essentially allow you to send a link to a customer that customer can in order to collect payment from them. So let's say you are my customer, I'm on phone with you, and I want to save a payment information on file. I can just send a link from here that will be a hyperlink on your cell phone, like in an email or in a text message. So you can click on that link and save a customer credit card number yourself, and it will be available in Business Central. Now let's look at the example of PayFabric inside of Business Central. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an invoice. I will use the same customer that I have been using inside of this over here. Actually, I'm going to use an item that's below $1,000 because the test credit cards are set to process payments below 1,000. So over here, we have an option for PayFabric, which essentially will allow you to do authorization, sale, or capture. But before I do that, I can just basically come here. I can select the payment method. And over here, we have a payment method called PayFabric Credit Card or PayFabric eCheck. I haven't elaborated on this as much, but just to also want to repeat this one more time, all of our applications allow customers to pay by credit card as well as ACA. So we do process electronic checks as well. So for example, the customer portal that I showed you, as a customer, you don't have to offer credit cards only, or even you don't even have to offer credit card payments. If you want customers to just pay by checks, they can do that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and right now I'm just going to use a credit card. I'm going to go ahead and hit the sale button. And essentially what will happen is it will say sale transaction approved. So what it did is essentially, because I already had a credit card on file and it used that credit card, it communicated with the gateway and immediately it will update, it will process the payment. And as quickly, as simple as that, now the payment has already been processed. So it will show you that what credit card was used, what was the tender type. If I wanted to add a new credit card, I could have just add a new credit card directly over here by using this button or shortcut Control F1. But you know, I use the one that was already saved, and over here that was already saved, and over here, over here, I can actually see that under PayFabric transactions, my authorized captured amount, because I did a capture right over here. Capture is essentially when I actually process the sale rather than doing an authorization. So I can see what my my payment amount was. All the confirmations are also emailed in the back end. So even for this one, once the payment was processed, it essentially sent an email confirmation to the customer automatically in the back end. So this is essentially our payment processing system. And again, I showed you a little bit more of a high level overview to get you familiarized with the application so you can see what it does and how it works. There are a lot of other options as well, and most businesses have their own unique way of processing payments or handling customer payments, depending on your business requirements, depending on your business processes. And we would love to speak with you about your payment needs. What are some of your requirements and what some of your processes, so we can talk to you and help you understand how we can help you not just streamline it, but also secure your processes. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give you a very quick wrap up here. Again, as a company, Nodus Technologies, we bring what we bring to the table is with these solutions that we have designed, because our specialties is in payment processing and PCI compliance. These are some of the key value propositions that we bring to our customers, bring to the table for our customers. With our application, we help you remove the burden of PCI compliance through secure, encrypted, and innovative cloud-based technologies that I showed you today. We help you we help you streamline your receivable processes by allowing you to have set up customer-facing payment portal, which essentially empowers your customers to take charge of their payments, and so your customers can process payments at their leisure, at their convenience, and get those payments connected to your accounting system. I did mention earlier that as a company, we are part of Evo Payments, which is essentially a very large payment processor that processes across US and international. With our B2B payment side of expertise, we specialize in level 2, level 3 processing, which essentially is like the fastest and the most surest way to get or qualify your transactions to the lowest processing rates. So we can help you with that. We have built in many fraud protection services throughout the way, such as small, simple things as where you can force your customers to enter CVV2 codes before they process payments, where you can run zip code verification or address verifications in the back end. And overall, our applications support both US and international payment processors. So having said that, I'm going to hand it over back to you, Angie. Thank you so much, and for allowing us to speak to your customers, for sitting into these presentations. If you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer those questions. Angie, handing over to you.
All right, thank you, Fawaz. Yes, we do have some questions. What versions of NAV is this available for?
Good question. We have so right now what I showed you, everything was for Business Central. So obviously Business Central we support up to date. For NAV, David, are you online? David is one of our product managers. I wanted to double check. I know it's for 2016.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So currently we have the customer payment portal for NAV 2016, and then we're working on bringing the processing within NAV for PayFabric within the NAV versions. Yeah, but so currently it's not available.
So currently it's for 2016 right now.
Only the customer payment portal side.
Got it. Okay, Angie. So the answer is so right now we support for NAV, we support 2016, and the only application that we have available for NAV is the customer payment portal, not inside of NAV. We have not launched that yet.
Okay, thank you. And we have our own customer portal already. Is there a way for us to integrate your portal into ours so that customers don't have to manage 2 logins?
Absolutely. Yes, we do. Our portal does support what we call a pass-through authentication, which essentially means that you can connect 2 portals together where the portal 1 can transfer the login credentials over to portal 2. So this way, customer can simply just navigate from one site to another site without the need of logging in again.
Okay, thank you. And which back-end processors does Nodus support?
Another good questions. So as a company, we support pretty much all the major payment processors out there. I'm actually gonna, if you can all still see my screen, I'm gonna navigate you to our website where we have a list of all the supported payment gateways. So under resources, if you go to supported payment gateways, you see a list of all the supported gateways. Through these gateways, we can support all the major payment processors in US. Like for example, PayPal. PayPal can, using PayPal PayFlow Pro, it connects to literally, like, I think every processor out there. I mean, unless if there's some unique industry specific ones that we might not be able to support, the chances are that anything that you're already using, we should be able to support. On that note, I do also want to bring that again, is that um, Nodus is a division of Evo Payments, so our parent company is Evo. So although we do support all these payment gateways, you do have a lot of benefits of choosing or switching to Evo for payment processing. And when I say benefits, I'm not talking about only cost-wise. We will not ask you to switch if Evo comes out to be more expensive. So you will save money, but besides that, on ongoing support and experience, it's best to have your processor and software all under one roof. So that's the answer to your question. We do support all the major payment processors that are in US, Canada, and across the globe.
All right, thank you. And how do we register our customers to use the payment portal?
Another good question. I didn't talk about customer registration. There are a few different ways to do that. Option 1, which is probably the most commonly used option, is self-registration, where you can send customers, like everyone, like a intro email. In that intro, that you have a new portal, like you can introduce your portal. In that portal, you can give them what we call like an activation link, which will essentially allow them to self-register. And it's a very, very painless process. All they have to do is just enter their username, password, and confirm the email, and it will connect them, because those activations link themselves are very unique, secure link. So option 1 is that you can send invitations to your customers, which will essentially allow them to register themselves. Option 2 is customers themselves can go to the website and request an activation link and to request to register. And option 3 is you can register a customer on behalf of a customer. So there are like few different options. What our team does is that at the time of implementation, our team will work with you, will show you and explain you all these different options, and then will help you roll out the solution using the methods that's most feasible for you and your customers.
All right, thank you, Fawaz. I believe that is all the questions that we have for you today. If anyone has any further questions, please feel free to contact Nodus, or you can contact your account rep here at Innovia Consulting. And we just want to thank everyone for being on this webinar today. Thank you again, Fauwaz, for presenting. And if you're watching on demand, thank you for joining us. And we do have a few more webinars coming soon. Tomorrow, August 14th, we have Gino Pack from Innovia Consulting, and he's going to be presenting on 7 tips for faster data entry in Business Central. And on Thursday, August 15th, we have Bob Beard from Innovia Consulting, and he's going to be presenting on what if your process is the problem. And so check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's innovia.com/events. And we also want to mention that we have our new podcast going on. It's called the Innovia Conversation, and you can find out about all the different podcast platforms to listen to on our podcast page, and that's innovia.com/podcast. So check out the podcast selection and subscribe so you get notified on all of our new episodes. And Innovia is proud to be a platinum sponsor of BCUG NAVUG Summit in Orlando, Florida this year. And those dates are October 13th through the 18th. And if you haven't already registered, or if you want more information about Summit, check out our conference page, and that is innovia.com/conferences. And again, thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again soon on another Innovia webinar. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Angie.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Fawaz.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.